Hello and happy Tuesday. My name is Michael Leeserman here with the Trial Guide's tip of the day. The date is June 10th, 2025. And our tip today comes from the classic David Ball on damages. Here to read the tip is David Ball himself. Thank you so much for being here, David.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for doing this series and thank you for dubbing me a classic.
Well, I dubbed your book a classic, but I would dub you a classic as well. And I mean that this book changed how I tried cases. And I think I owe a lot of my success to a lot of things, but to this book, yeah, how to think about
Thank you for
damages.
saying that. But it's nice to feel a classic. I'm going to demand more respect from my wife and everybody else. Okay, let me read this. Jurors who are comfortable with their own and others' emotions as a palpable and normal part of living and decision making tend to see emotional harm as worthy of compensation.
So this is very interesting to me. Does it take the person that shows emotion to value emotion, or might the person that is more closed off value it just as much? So I'm curious. What are you getting at here?
It's anybody. It's a difficult one to tell. It's a whole topic to talk about what you can do in jury selection, or even in observing jurors during the course of trial. Certainly, if you do the kind of online research you might ought to be doing these days on who your jurors are, do it so they don't know you're doing it. But it's okay to do in every venue as far as I know. And you can find out the kind of person this is. People who make a show of emotion may well be absolutely cold as a dead rock. And people who seem to be, that's a good question, man. People who seem totally closed in and emotion and being comfortable with their own and others' emotions does not equate with the demonstration of those things. It means you feel strongly and your feelings get involved in making your decisions. And this is important because feelings, emotional harm to your quality of life, which is largely ultimately emotional, is harder for people to compensate when they don't really have that as a major part of themselves. So this becomes very important. It's very easy to say. It's a little harder to find. One of the ways that makes it a little easier is talking with them in voir dire instead of just getting quick answers, getting them to follow up. But again, that's talking to people who get some reasonable amount of time for voir dire. My partner Artemis is always pointing out that it's better to do just 2 or 3 questions in a very brief voir dire so you can get them talking a decent amount rather than trying to cover 10 different topics in a 1-hour voir dire. So there's all kinds of approaches to how do you find out who these people are. But you do want, they have to be good for you in a number of other ways too. The mere fact that they're emotionally live doesn't automatically make them a good juror. It's just if they're good with for other reasons, and this is part of it, then you may have a very strong damages juror in a case where you have very large emotional, non-physical harms to your client.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you added something that you attribute to Artemis, who's wonderful. Your partner for some time now. That if you had, and I've had this before, 10 minutes, the judge literally gave me 10 minutes and cut me off in the middle of a question, to do jury selection, that what you're saying is don't try to get 10 questions in that time. Get in 1 or 2, because you can go deeper, maybe in that instance.
Artemis knows this because she sits at jury selections, and rather than getting any information to help the attorney make decisions about who to strike, who to keep, and everything else, there's so many different questions that she's getting one word. Yes, I do. No, I don't. On to the next. You learn virtually nothing from jurors that way. And then counsel needs to fall back on making judgments based on demographics and other nonsense that doesn't help at all. So she's very sensitive to that. So I think it's a very sensitive thing to say. I mean, not just Artemis. I mean, other consultants and other lawyers know that. But gauge your number of questions by the amount of time you've got, because the answer to a question is not useful until you get some follow-up to it. You want to get them talking for a whole bunch of reasons. Who are the leaders? Who are the people who will incorporate emotion as part of their decision making? That's very old news. The jury project people were teaching this, 30 years ago, and it remains as true today, maybe more so than ever.
I love it. And I love that you've confirmed something I believe, which is I believe demographics mean nothing in jury selection. And now it's not just me saying it. You've heard David Ball say it. So
there are some cases where the demographics do make a difference, but they're rarer than you would think.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but that could be a fun discussion to have another time.
Have to do with issues of the case. I mean, issues in the case that affect a particular demographic group, where that demographic group is sensitive to it, then demographics is one of the factors you might need to look at.
Sure.
In a criminal case, police misconduct is certainly something that affects minority groups more than, white people from Fairfield County, Connecticut. So that you might want to consider it there.
Fair enough. I agree. Thank you for being here for today's tip. I very much appreciate it. I know everyone else does too.
It's so much my pleasure. I really enjoy doing this. I'm so grateful you do it. They're wonderful little things. Not mine, but everybody else's.
They all are. Thank you. Let's take a deep breath together and just be grateful to be alive this Tuesday. May the work that we do today help reduce suffering in the world and help reduce suffering in our lives. May we be kind to ourselves. May it help reduce suffering in our clients' lives and in everyone's lives. May we fiercely and compassionately advocate for our clients' causes. I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now. Let this take you to whatever place is sacred to you, a place of meditation, of prayer, or just let the sounds wash over you and remind you it's Tuesday. Go out, do good things, and have fun while you're doing it.